welcome to my channel. I'm Wendy Kimani. If you're new here, and if you came here through Instagram, I'm sure you've seen some posts that I've been leaving there about PCOS and my journey. So I really wanted to make this video to answer a few questions that I got in the DMs by sharing my journey and how I've been managing it so far. All right, let's do this. Let's get right into it. So, what is PCOS? I have some guys also asking me, you're always posting about PCOS. What is PCOS? PCOS is basically polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, this is a very common, it's 1 in 10 women, hormonal imbalance. So, it's a disorder where your hormones go, I guess, basically haywire, and they just don't perform the way they should. It happens to women in reproductive ages, so it comes with its own symptoms. I remember for me, I realized that something was wrong. Let's say I realized that something was wrong when I was around 18, because I had a few symptoms that they came in very slowly, so they didn't just hit me at once. I remember the first thing I noticed was irregular periods. So because I had very irregular periods, also from the beginning of me ever having periods, I just didn't think much of it until it started going to 3 months not having a period or 6 months not having a period. Then it was a problem. I remember having a conversation with my sisters, and they were like, I think you should not be celebrating that you don't get cramps because you don't get periods. I think you need to figure out what's going on with your body, because that's not normal. But being 18, I mean, that's not the time you're thinking about, I'm not gonna have kids or whatever. You're just thinking, I'm not gonna have cramps anymore. You know what I mean? Or have to use tampons or anything. So I kind of ignored that. And then the second one I got was I started to notice little hairs on my chin. I have friends, people have friends, people who have that one hair here or there. But these was like 1, and then after a couple of months 2 and 5, and then I started plucking them, but they started getting more and more strong. So I was just like, this is embarrassing. Okay, anyway, with that I just continued to tweeze it, and I was just like, whatever, they're only like 5, right? Then the other thing I noticed was I started getting really bad mood swings, and then I was really tired all of a sudden, like I was so tired, or getting like food comas, like proper food comas. Like if I eat carbs, like let's say like brown bread, like white bread, especially white bread, I would get super bloated. With milk, all of a sudden, TMI, gassy, like intolerance, like lactose intolerance, like crazy. And then I just noticed, you just feel your body is just not the same. Like after you eat, you just feel like you're tired. I want to snap this bra off. I want to take off my clothes and just have like a dira on, something loose. And I was just like, okay, something is not right with my body, right? Mainly because of the irregular periods, I decided I need to go see a doctor, right? So the first thing that they did is, of course, it was a she asked me, what are your symptoms? What do you feel is wrong with your body? So I told her exactly what I just mentioned. And then the first test she did on me was a sugar test. She told me, I had to fast before I did that test. And then I drank something like super sugary, and then I waited, I think about 2 hours or so, and then they did a test on me, on my blood sugar. Then she did an ultrasound. So this was like one of those that go inside to check my ovaries. So she checked and she saw simple cysts, it's what she called them. All right, so that was like check 2. And then of course she had seen like little hair growing on my chin. And I wasn't like heavy, but a bit heavier. You know, she asked me if I'd added. I was like, yeah, I've added quite a bit of weight, but I was a very, very, very skinny girl. I know you see this, but you don't believe it. I was like a stick. So to me, adding weight was actually a good thing because finally I was like a woman, you know, I was filling up. But I think I just didn't know that this was a symptom. Like I was just gaining weight and gaining and gaining. And it's not like I used to eat a lot, you know? So, yes, so out of these 3 or 4 symptoms, she was able to diagnose me with pre-diabetes. That's what she said. She said I was pre-diabetic, actually. I think that's the right way to put it. And by telling me that, she told me, you have to start watching your diet and you have to start like working out, like add some movement in your life. So I'm like, what do you mean movement? It's not like I have at that point I was like, I don't have a car. So I'm always out walking up and about, you know, and that time that's when my music career was starting. So I'm just like here, there, and everywhere, you know. Yeah, so anyway, I joined the gym and I started just, you know, gymming, you know, really gymming. But I really wasn't seeing anything happening. Another thing is the gym stresses me out. I don't know why. I just don't know why. For me, I just need to find an activity. What works for me, I need to find an activity that I enjoy the most. But the gym was not it. So I did it for a couple of months and I wasn't really seeing any difference. So that, of course, demotivated me and I stopped. And then I just ignored it for a very long time until we got engaged and then we got married. And then you start, you know, it's like, when are you having kids? So then it really had to be addressed. It's like, okay, what now? You know, at that point, I was not getting my period for like 9 months. And for some reason, I didn't really care about it. Like, just don't be like me, okay? Just don't be like me. And then, so yeah, so I really started to research. That's when I had moved to the Netherlands. So I had some time to just settle in and just research on what to do. So I looked online and I found a lot of women, my fellow sisters out there. You helped me like actually figure this out. So they were sharing like diet ideas of what they have actually tried out and it's worked for them, and different supplements and workouts and all these things are things that they've talked to like their nutritionists who are actually focusing on PCOS. At that time, remember when I was in Kenya, I didn't have anyone who mentioned PCOS to me. I just knew I was pre-diabetic. So then I'm like, PCOS. This is actually when I was like, wow, I think I have PCOS, because it was the same exact thing that they were talking about that I had. So I decided to start on this journey, on this diet and dealing with it naturally. So the first thing is I looked at what do I need to do? What do I need to consume or not consume for me to manage this PCOS of mine? And when I did that, I started slow. So I started like, okay, I'm gonna just take this one out, and see how I feel. Remember, the first things that I took out was milk and anything like white. So that's the first thing that I did. I bought a couple of supplements. I'm gonna be sharing these in our totally another video because it's also like a lot. And then I remember in 2 months I got my period back after he had disappeared for like 9 months. So that opened my eyes to, whoa, something is happening here, and something, I mean, these sisters of mine are actually, they're onto something. So I continued with that. I worked on my diet. I started working out again, but this time I was doing slow workouts because that's what was mentioned. So slow. So not really stressing yourself like running like crazy, but more like weights and just like slow, nothing that stresses you, because another thing is stress is really bad for PCOS. It really makes PCOS like flare up like crazy. So you don't need that. And when I did this, I slowly start to see like changes in about 6 months. One thing I have to mention is managing PCOS, when you start to see results anywhere from 2-3 months to 6 months. So don't wait for 2 weeks or 1 week to say, oh, I feel good. No, it's a slow process and you need to trust in it. So this is my story. Until today, I'm slowly trying to discover like what works for me, because with age, your body changes and your lifestyle changes, so you have to figure out what works for you. So I feel like I'm on a different stage right now with PCOS, where I have to rediscover what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And I want to take you along with me. So leave your comments below with any questions you might have about my journey. Is there something that you noticed that I have that you might have? Is there something that you have and I don't have, and you feel like, hey, could this be part of PCOS? Leave your questions down below. Let's have a chat with other sisters in the comments below. And welcome to our little sister crew community. I'm going to be sharing my story and how I'm progressing, and I hope you can come along with me. We can do this, okay? Love ya. See you in the next video.